I like how I didn't even do a proper intro, and this will be probably one of the very few times I guess I'll be showing my face on camera, just because I don't like talking and I don't want to like play back the video and hear myself talk, because it's just kind of cringy, and it sounds so different from when you're like hearing your own voice and not thinking that it sounds like you, but it does. So I don't know. That's just me. But aside from that, I just kind of felt in the mood to try this out and see what happens in the future. If I end up liking it, and then if I do, I'll probably end up making more of these type of videos in the future. I just felt like there's not a lot of people who talk about psychology, mostly in the school psychology, or knowing their experience, or like I know there's some videos on YouTube that there are informative videos, but it's not like a day in my life or like a week type of thing that you get to kind of feel like you're able to see what they go through for graduate, or to prepare for graduate school for like school psychology. Because recently I have discovered, or like trying to narrow down my options of what I really want to do with my life, and like so far it's just been like going with the flow, but at least I had like in some way coming to finishing my bachelor's degree that I do want to work with kids, and I do want to work in a school setting. At first I thought I wanted to be a guidance counselor, but then after like learning more about that in one of my psych classes, they don't really go into like intervention or like able to work with kids on extensive like time period, or in depth like school psychologists do. So definitely school psychologists has got like grabbed my attention, because they do interventions, more like therapy, work with them in the school environment, or like work with them with like learning abilities and like problems like that, diagnosing them, treatment, planning like assessments. And I know there's also a lot of writing involved for that. So I feel like so far I've been really wanting to do that, and it's been feeling like all the check marks I have made up for me. And I don't know, I feel like not many people, or like videos on YouTube, you get to see that people are going through like organizational psychology, or like forensic, or counselors, social workers, health psychology, stuff like that. I feel like the main broad that many people want to go is clinical. But after learning some information about that and having to know that you do have to get your PhD, and I'm just like, I don't want to do that. As much as I love school, I just don't want to be in school for the long run. And knowing that school psychology, to get a master's and a like certification, I would just need to be in school for 3 years, and for that amount of time in school, I'd rather take my chances with that than do my PhD, because I feel like at this point, and I have heard from professors, an example like for school psychology, it's like pointless, just because you would just need your master's at most and certification. For PhD, it's just like there's no point unless you're going to be teaching or doing research. I feel like for me, it's not worth it at all. Like, yeah, it'll be nice to have a title, but like I don't want to be in debt forever. But like I know in some programs or whatever, someone may want to study in like a subfield of psychology. They do need to get their PhD or like their PsyD. So far, like this psych class is talking about all the possible jobs or like options for someone with a psych degree who want to extend their knowledge in that general area of psychology, and then start narrowing down what subfield they would want to study more and stuff like that. So I've been loving this class a lot, and plus it's been very informative about different types of psychologists and how it became like a huge thing, how it started, where did it come from, who did what type of like subfield and stuff like that. It's like really informative in general, which I'm like really happy. It's kind of like a requirement because it's so much information, and I get to explore and narrow down my options of what I want to do with the rest of my life. I think later we're going to talk about finding graduate programs and then having to talk about possibly getting a master's, and I think this is where I have to start like narrowing down of what I want to do, because I only have a year left until I graduate. So I have to get my crap together and figure out what I want to do for the rest of my life. I'd rather not take a gap year. I kind of basically took almost a 2-year gap before coming back to finish my bachelor's. So I'd rather just go straight forward and hopefully get accepted to a master's program I'm into, and like just continue working hard and pushing myself a little bit harder, but not to the point that I'm gonna burn out. But I'd rather just get my master's out of the way and I don't have to worry about that. But that would also mean I would need to relocate where I live, which sucks because I don't want to move from the area I'm at. So for the programs I've been looking at the state I'm going to school at are not the greatest. So I think so far the only option would require me to go back home to my own home state, which I also really don't want to go back and live in my home state since it's so expensive. It's just I really don't feel like it. I really don't. I thought I would already have my master's here once I'm done with my bachelor's, but apparently the school that I'm attending don't carry the master's program I'm looking for. They only carry the doctorate program. So I'm like, I don't want to do that. So I'm just like stressed out because I would also need to take the GREs, which I'm not really happy about at all, because for the most part what I'm looking into, the programs require the GRE. I heard it's similar to like the SATs or the ACTs, and I done very poorly on the SATs. I scored so bad. It was so difficult for me. For the GREs, I know there are some schools that were not making like the GREs a requirement, but I know in some other schools they was still making it a requirement. The school I'm looking at that I may potentially end up going with, it requires me to take the GREs, and I'm just like, I really don't want to. So far, thinking about my master's right now, even though I'm like halfway done with my spring semester, it's just taking over my mind, and knowing that I had to consider to set a day where I will have to take the GREs, just because I know like for the most part the deadlines for the graduate programs for psychology are all in like probably December or January. And like this summer I was like recommended to like practice and to take them in the summer. But for me, I really wanted to volunteer this summer. Like, I already work 2 jobs. One's full-time, the other one's part-time. And then I'm already gonna be taking summer classes for the first and last time ever. Also because I am minoring in child maltreatment. So regardless with that, I was gonna graduate next spring semester. Because this freaking bio class that I really need in order to graduate is only offered in the freaking spring, which sucks. And like I had a huge problem or complication about that for this semester I was supposed to register for, and I still haven't gotten a notification back about whether the board accepted my class or not. I tried to contact my academic advisor and I didn't get an email back. Remember who to send the notification to, so I'm just like, I'll just talk about that on the next meeting I have with my advisor. But yeah, hopefully the classes I do need will be in the summer, and I know that I need to do a freaking communication class, which I don't like because I don't like speaking in front of people. I hate it so much. Like on 101 I can do without a problem. I hate being in front of the class or talking, or even if it's a group project, I hate it as well. It's just not the greatest. And if I do take in the summer, at least it'll be quick. I wouldn't mind doing that over the summer if it's only for like a month and a half, and then just like we're done. And same thing with like psych. I think I would like to like take either one or two 400 level psych courses if they offer it. And I don't know about my chem stuff because I think I may or may not need to take orgo, which I'm not looking forward to at all. I hate it. I don't need all this stress right now. I don't need to think about this, but I have to, and it sucks. But I really wanted to share this. Hopefully in the future it might help someone else to figure out their journey, what they want to do with their life and stuff like that, because like so far up to now I've just been like, I've changed my major and I've been exploring a couple of new things and learning about new things, and then now that I finally narrowed it down, it's just like it feels right, and I'm like, it feels like I'm on the right path, I'm going in the right direction, have the right mindset and everything, positive about everything for the most part. And I feel like I'm almost 100% sure I really would really want to study and extend my knowledge in school psychology, so I can definitely work with kids, have the opportunity to do that and work in a school setting.